I found secret facts about the new update.
Just don't tell anyone.
And hello everyone, dear friends. On the Melonfonk channel, in this video we will discuss with you the new secret facts of the new update in Melon Playground. If you subscribe to my channel and leave a like right now, I will be insanely pleased. It is very easy for you to do. And if you want to get into my video, just write a cool comment. It's insanely simple. Well, I won't waste your time anymore. Enjoy watching. I found secret facts about the new update, and they are really very interesting. Did you know that a barrel with a cylinder and oil can be blown up? It really works, and just look how interesting and cool it is. We just take the barrel, just set it on fire, and it explodes even in a chain reaction. It is very good that the developers have thought through even such small details. It is very important and insanely interesting. If you take a balloon with helium and stretch it to a large size, then it is able to lift into the air a whole NPC. If anything, my map is small, so I decided to do this with several balloons so that it would be more visual and beautiful. And guys, this really works. Balloons with helium just easily lift our NPC. And this is very cool. I am glad that the developers have thought through even such a small detail. Well, let's move on to the next fact. If a balloon with helium is not tied, it will deflate and make a characteristic squeak that we hear in real life when balloons deflate. However, this works only if the balloon has grown to a certain size. It would be cool if the developers just simply made the sound of the squeak louder, because the squeak is barely audible, however it exists. I will try to make it so that you all hear the squeak, and I think that you definitely did not know about this. However, if you knew, then leave a like and subscribe. Well, let's move on to the next fact. A balloon with helium cannot be popped with sharp objects, and it sounds like absurd, but it really is so, and it really works like this. You just right now look at your screens. The balloon with helium is really very big, and to pierce it actually should have been an easy task. However, the developers absolutely did not think through this little thing. No matter if it is a machete, a piece of ice, or just a huge axe, nothing can pierce this balloon, and it makes as if it's an almost metallic sound. I don't know where is the logic here, but in my opinion, it is completely absent. And this, as for me, is a fact that you definitely did not know. Well, let's move on to the next one. If you hit a balloon with helium with the staff that turns everything into a balloon, nothing will happen. However, you can cause a salute from these balloons, and at the same time the balloon will be tied. It sounds very complicated, but just look at the screen. Really, if we hit with the staff on the balloon, then they just get tied, and as if they become very heavy, they simply do not even fly up, no matter what size they are. And at the same time, we cause a huge number of small balloons from the effect of the staff. If anything, it will not work to do this with ordinary objects, because they simply turn into balloons, and after fly up. And here it turns out a rather strange effect, which is really very interesting, and I think that you also did not know about this. Very strange, really, that these balloons not only get tied, but at the same time become somehow simply heavy, which cannot fly up at all. Very interesting as for me. Write in the comments what you think about this. Well, let's move on to the next fact. In Melon Playground, they added a new heat distribution system for automotive equipment and in general for transport. Just look right now at your screens. When you set fire to bake in any of the equipment, it now smoothly becomes red. Every element now really as if heats up. If earlier we tried to do this, for some reason separate parts of the transport did not become red at all, and as if did not ignite. Now this system has been fixed, and I am very glad that the developers paid attention to this. Now it really looks very nice and beautiful. Smooth, leisurely, and really from this it exudes simple quality. Well, let's move on to the next fact. Now you can repaint the UI controller. That is basically the whole fact. I don't know why the developers added this, because the UI controller is a thing that is usually just taken and hidden under other objects so that it is not visible. Because it is, after all, a mechanism that is not intended for prying eyes. And here they just take and add the ability to repaint it. I don't know why, but now it can be done. Maybe it will be useful to someone, but as for me, this is a very strange and rather unnecessary addition. But in general, it does not bother anyone, and in some scenarios may even be useful. And it looks quite unusual, and as for me, beautiful, with the ability to repaint. What do you think about this? Write in the comments. Well, let's move on to the next fact. For the conveyor, they added another function. Honestly, I don't know what it's for. Apparently, this is some very important fix. And apparently, someone has been carefully asking for it. Rope offset when changing the size of the conveyor. Sounds complicated, but when you put it to rope on the conveyor, then when changing the size of the conveyor, it stays in the place where it was originally installed, as if shifting along the X and Y. I think you can definitely see this right now on your screens. An unobtrusive, precise, good change that I think many will find useful, especially if you are a modder. But honestly, for me, it's as if nothing has changed, because I use the conveyor very rarely. Again, this was not added for me. What do you think about this? Write in the comments. Well, let's move on to the next fact. And the last unnoticed fact. Now you can repaint military clothing. And if you repaint it in blue or red, then it will somewhat resemble the Spider-Man suit from the first part with Tobey Maguire. I think that the old ones will definitely remember this movie, but if you have not watched the first part with Tobey Maguire, then I recommend it to everyone. I really like it. So try it. Now you can really repaint military clothing, and maybe this will actually be useful to someone. What do you think about this? Be sure to write in the comments. Rate this video with a like and subscription, and I will be very pleased. Well, and with that, my video comes to an end. Thank you all for watching. Good luck to everyone. Bye to everyone. And remember, my friend, as always, we'll see each other in the coming days.